Hi, I'm LoPinto, the director of the Paramus Public Library. As I told you a couple of days ago, I'm going to be telling some traditional folk tales, storytelling in the traditional way. Now, the folk tales that I'm going to tell have been passed down by word of mouth for hundreds and thousands of years from generation to generation. Every place, every town, every city in the world has their stories. Many of them are very similar. Now, the story I'm going to tell today is a scary story called the Tailypo. The Tailypo by Paul Gauguin. Once upon a time, a long time ago, an old man lived in an old house deep in the woods. Now, this old man's house had just one room. It was his bedroom, his living room, and his kitchen too. And the old man had three old dogs. Their names were Ino, Uno, and Capital Calco. One very cold day, and I think it was around October 31st, the old man decided to take his three old dogs out for the hunt because there was nothing to eat in the house. Here, 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 he called. And the three old dogs came bounding from underneath the porch, eager for the hunt. The old man and Ino, Uno, and Capital Calco went hunting all through the day until the sun began to set and the moon began to rise and the wind began to howl. But all they had gotten was a skinny old bony rabbit. Well, they took this skinny old bony rabbit home, and the old man skinned it and cooked it and ate it and gave the bones to his dogs. Now, he was still hungry, but there was nothing else to eat in the house. So he sat down in his rocking chair thinking of good things to eat, when suddenly out of the corner of his eye he saw a creature come through a crack in the wall. Well, this creature had a long, fat, furry tail, and as quick as a wink, the old man grabbed his axe and chopped that tail right off. But before he could chop again, the creature went out the way it came. Well, the old man, he took that long, fat, furry tail, and he skinned it, and he cooked it, and he ate it, and he gave the bone to his dogs. He was full and content. Well, he fixed that crack in the wall, got into his night clothes, got into bed, and fell fast asleep. Well, that old man wasn't asleep very long when a strange scratching sound on his roof woke him up. Scratch, 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 scratch. The old man was so frightened he could hardly move or talk, but with finally all the courage he could muster, he called out, "Who's there? Who's there who shouldn't be out on a night like tonight?" Scratch, 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 scratch. "Who's there, I say?" "Tailypo, Tailypo, all I want is my tail. Ino, Uno, Capital Calco, get that varmint." Well, the three dogs came bounding from underneath the porch, eager for the hunt, and they chased that creature into the woods. The old man was certain that his old dogs would catch that creature. So he pulled the covers back over him and fell back to sleep. Well, he wasn't asleep very long when a scratching sound at his door woke him up. Scratch, 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 scratch. "Who's there?" said the old man. "Who's there who shouldn't be out on a night like this?" Scratch, scratch, scratch. "Who's there, I say?" "Tailypo, Tailypo, I want my tail." Uno, uno, capico, calco, get that vomit. Well, the old dogs came bounding from underneath the porch again, and they chased that creature into the woods, where this time the old man was so certain that his old hunting dogs would get that creature. He was so certain that he pulled the covers back over him and actually fell back to sleep. Now, he wasn't asleep that long when he woke up. He wasn't sure, but he thought he could hear noises from the outside. He thought he might hear a voice coming in on the wind. He went to his door and tried to listen through the door. With all the courage he could muster, he opened that door, and this is what he heard. Tailypo, Tailypo, I'm coming for my tail. Tailypo, Tailypo. The voice got louder. The voice got closer. Tailypo, Tailypo, I'm coming for my tail. Uno, uno, capico, calco, get that vomit. But this time, no old dogs came bounding from beneath the porch, eager for the hunt. The creature had led them deep into the woods, and the creature was coming closer and closer. Tailypo, I'm coming for my tail. Well, the old man locked and bolted his doors, ran to his bed, threw the covers over his head, and fainted away. But sometime, just before the dawn, the old man woke up with a feeling I know each and every one of you have had when you know there's something else in the room with you. And then he heard it in his kitchen. Scratch, 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 coming across the living room floor. Scratch, 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 and into his bedroom. Scratch, 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 and up the side of his bed. Scratch, scratch, and there it was, sitting at the foot of his bed. The creature with its red, shining eyes staring right at him. The old man was so frightened he couldn't say a word, he couldn't move. But finally he spoke to it. What is it you want from me? What is it you want? All I want is my tail. I haven't got your tail, said the old man. I haven't got it. Yes, you have. All that's left in an old man's house is a chimney. And on certain nights, when the moon is high and the wind is blowing, if you listen very carefully, this is what you'll hear. Tailypo, Tailypo, I've got my tail. And that's the story of Tailypo by Paul Godin. And always remember this. When the libraries reopen, come back and visit, because the place for you and the place for me is the Primus Public Library. We have books and things that we lend for free. It's the latest, it's the greatest, it's the library.